a what's the word I'm looking for?
Check your word of the day
I think
calendar.
it. Well, I can't skip to tomorrow, but I never really threw out yesterday's. But I think that's just because of Aaron Pierre's like fucking eyes, because those eyes are dreaming. And if I heard his story, I'd be like, listen, man, I'll be helping you too. Behind the counter, behind the truck, like where do you need this help?
Hey now.
Sometimes you just got to give the man his money back, because we're talking movies. We're talking Rebel Ridge, starring Aaron Pierre, John Johnson, and Anna Sophia Robb, written and directed by Jeremy Saulnier. Chris, you could offer me eternal life or a catfish sandwich, and the answer would still be the same, especially since you stopped calling me sir, which was the only thing you had going for you.
Yeah, well, you left before you could see my shit-eating grin. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? Also, our first new episode of 2025, and it's going to be an okay episode. We're talking about Netflix's 2024 film, Rebel Ridge. Scott, take us away.
Chris, with a rebel yell, I scream, more, more, more.
I would have screamed maybe less, but so maybe we'll meet in the middle and
Chris,
we'll get a little bit.
Let's drop the bravado here, right? Let's give everybody the spoilers.
Well, I guess we know what Scott got for Christmas. Sounds like you got a word of the day calendar. Anyway, Scott, go ahead. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say, like, we're gonna go back and forth a little bit, and in the end, you're just gonna be like, "Fuck, Scotty, you're right. This thing was awesome."
Okay, I'm look. Hey, I like the audience. I'm here for a show.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this is what I like to call a little canon pick. It's a little throwback to the long lost era of the greatest production house in history in Canon Pictures, which one small thing escalates so much out of control that none of it makes sense and nobody's motivation actually follows through the whole picture. But man, it's a fucking fun ride. And I think not every movie needs to be taken so seriously. Like, this is high class B plus cinema.
Yeah. Oh, the problem is that it's taken serious because it is taken serious. It doesn't get to be. I don't honestly now I'm actually contradicting, because usually what I say is, in order for something to be true B cinema, you need to actually like try to make it great, and then it just like kind of falls apart. I don't know if I'm going to apply that here though, because I think that like they were trying to make a good movie, and I think look, I don't hate this movie. This is like a 7 out of 10. This is a Sunday afternoon watch, or you're like, if you're scrolling through Netflix looking for like a kind of a cool little action film and you got over 2 hours to kill, absolutely put it on. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just not great. And it could have actually been great. I do agree with you that there's like characters start off kind of having a desire to do something. They're motivated to do something. And then it kind of gets away from them. So actually, the quote I have this week actually works great for this. Wendy Id from the UK Observer said this: "The film runs out of momentum and finds itself ensnared in a needlessly complicated web of intrigue and administrative shenanigans." Like the like, I get it. They're trying to do like a layered kind of police corruption story, which I'm here for, man. Like, I'm a big fan. What's the one with Sylvester Stallone? It's not The Town. It's the
Copland.
Yeah, Copland. Like that. Like, lots of layers. That one's great. But this, it's like it gets too complicated into like the nuances of like how a court system works. It's like, and we're going to hold him for 90 days for this and for this reason and da 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 da. And then there's this whole exposition about like, what did you see in the evidence room? And then he goes on to talk about all the non-lethal force. And then the sheriff has this whole bit about like, I guess they rent that out to like other police departments. But the whole reason it's non-lethal, and this is a bit of a spoiler, is because then later, when there's the big shootouts, nobody's getting killed. It's kind of like T2, I promise not to kill anybody. I was like, the fuck is going on here? Like,
well, I think because like this is one thing I really wish Hollywood would do. And maybe with the new ambassadors that were appointed, we can get this film. Is the after effect of these action movies, especially with like the corrupt cops, because most of those movies, all the evidence gets blown up, but then the hero of the movie just kills a bunch of people. Like there
yeah,
should be the trial after the fact, right? Like, well, the hero's like the criminal kind of thing. And I think that's why they kind of did it this way, in which, you know, it doesn't have to get super messy, because then your third act is gonna be all fucked up when, you know, they're making this spoilers grand escape on the one with the wheel blown out, and then have to explain why half the cops in one town were just brutally murdered in a shootout with, you know, video evidence. Because and
yeah. But
that's what
couldn't
I
you just
mean.
still claim self-defense? Like this entire police department actually tried to murder me.
Well,
Um,
that's the thing, and like, okay, we'll get
hold on
into
a second. Hold on a second.
spoilers.
Okay, so the premise of this movie, and this is in the trailer, so I'm not giving it. It's essentially like a dude is showing up with some cash money to like bail out his cousin, and then that all get explains. And of course, the cops pull him over off his bicycle and steal his money. That's the basic like plot structure of this film. And then obviously things kind of devolve from there. I just want to like let the audience that to have a general understanding of what we're talking about here. Okay, go ahead,
Right.
Scott.
So yeah, so technically, again, spoilers, you find out the reason they're taking the money is, you know, to fund the town. Pretty much, right?
For lower taxes, baby.
And
Lower taxes.
a margarita machine costs $900. I like how everybody knew how much this margarita machine.
$900 margarita. You know how fucking expensive that, like, margaritas are not that hard to make. You do not need to be spending no fucking $1,000 American, which is like $1 billion Canadian. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe soon to be 51st state. We'll see.
We are not amused.
Yeah, but
to make
like, to
margaritas.
my understanding, this margarita machine came with Jimmy Buffett, and he
Yes.
was making the margaritas,
right.
and he was singing. But yeah, like, so like all that stuff's fine, right? Because again, like I went in like this is 100, like trailer and everything. I'm like, this is gonna be 100% like popcorn, and I'm all in for it, right? Like sometimes I just like having my brain shut off and watching big explosions and men walking away from them. But that's what made this kind of fun, right? Because it wasn't so like bombastic, right? Like everything in terms of the action, everything was personal, everything was up close, right? And it kind of like brought you in a little bit, but then there is like those head scratching moments where, you know, again, spoiler, the DA, or no, she's not the DA.
She's just
She's
like a
a
court clerk or whatever.
yeah, the court clerk who randomly meets this guy overhearing his story 2 minutes later is now like, listen, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna go against everybody I know, and I'm gonna help you.
Yeah,
And
and
then
the fact that like I'm already, again, spoiler, on a short leash here because I've got a daughter and I had some possible criminal run-ins, blah 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 blah. But yeah, hey, random dude, I'm here for you.
yeah.
That's
But
that's the
I think
character. Go ahead. That's the
I
character of
was
Summer.
yeah, I was gonna say I think that is like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Check your word of the day
I
now.
think it. Well, I can't skip to tomorrow, but I never really threw out yesterday's. But I think that's just because of, you know, Aaron Pierre's like fucking eyes, because those eyes are dreaming. And if I heard his story, I'd be like, listen, man, I'll be helping you too. We're behind the counter, behind the truck. Like, where do you need this help?
Hey now.
Yeah, this is not an episode of Scott's Cock, so let's keep it clean, baby. So okay, this film's over 2 hours though. Like, did you think the running, like the pacing was okay? Because I
Yeah,
definitely
like
found that scenes were like the scenes just would like kind of carry on, and near the end, there's like character exposition, like they're talking to each other. I'm just like, fuck, just cut that all out. Like, we don't need this. Sometimes a dude just needs to walk into a room, say a cool line, and then go blow some shit up. Like, not everything needs to be a fucking monologue here or a tete-a-tete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he could have walked in and been like, listen, I'm here to chew gum and kick some ass, but I'm all out of bubble gum. But
I'm all out of ass to chew.
but yeah, I think, and that's why it reminded me so much of the old like Canon pictures, right? Like, because that's what would happen there. Like all of a sudden, the third act is like it turns into a movie that the first half of it never was, right?
Because they were writing the fucking third act on set while they were shooting.
And I think that, I don't know if that's the case because it is the same writer and director, which he could technically have done it, just been like, just fucking do this. But
is there a Canon picture that really comes to mind when you think about this film?
Yes. There's a Canon picture that has the greatest fucking character study ever put to film. And it should be studied. Like, it's the most traumatic character ever, like more than Romeo and Juliet, Othello, and it's Enter the Ninja. You watch that movie and you will see like
what movie?
Enter the Ninja.
Enter the Ninja. I don't know if I've seen that one. There was a period where there was a lot of ninja movies.
Yeah, there's a trilogy. Like there is a ninja trilogy, but none of the movies actually connect to each other. And the only reason it's called the trilogy is because one actor is in all three movies and he plays a ninja in all three. But I guarantee like we should do an episode on Enter the Ninja, because it is like guilty pleasure of mine, and I watch
fucking Frank Nero's in it, man.
Oh yeah, he's like the great white like hope, like he just learned like ninja stuff for like
he's the ninja.
He's the white ninja.
Motherfucking Django is the ninja.
Yeah,
Ninja. Django Shuriken.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god, it's so fucking good because you're just like, and it's like this film, like it just starts escalating so much that you're like, I don't know what's happening, but fuck, this is good.
Our producer wants to know if Enter the Ninja is. Are you sure it's not porn? I mean, when you read now that I read that,
there is a portion of it that kind of like
it's
thinks
who enters who, the ninja or you.
Yeah, boy.
It's a ninja. You don't even see them entering you.
That's right. That's
right. It's all in the dark.
But Jeremy. So the director. This is written, directed, and edited. I think he might even have a producer credit on. Jeremy Saulnier. So his big movie that I think he's most famous for is Blue Ruin. Have you seen Blue Ruin?
Off the top of my head, I don't think so. No.
So it's a great
I've seen Green Room, which was fucking good.
So that's actually when I was doing my research for this, both that and Hold the Dark. Green Room and Hold the Dark look really good. Blue Ruin though, like if you like a good old fashioned indie revenge-o-matic, some very stunning cinematography, which I think I can't remember if he was the cinematographer on that film as well. He does a lot of stuff, like he does a lot of all the things in his films sometimes. But Blue Ruin is a fantastic film. And I think that this film might have done better with not him editing. I think maybe like bringing in another set of eyes as an editor would have tightened it up a bit. But I mean, the critics are loving this film. They've got like 96% from the critics. 72% from the audience. Like I said, I think it's like a 7 out of 10. It's not awful.
Yeah, like no, I don't think it's awful. Like I super enjoy this movie, and I think Don Johnson is fucking great in it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the cast is great. I like everything. I mean, it's got James Cromwell, who obviously from Babe, LA Confidential, The Green Mile, and if you saw Succession, he plays one of the brothers, the older brothers in Succession of the owner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then like I think, like I said, and going back, I like how I predicted this. Where by the end of this, we're in agreement. This is a very enjoyable film that should be watched.
I don't know. Whoa. I don't know about should. Could be watched. I think absolutely could be watched.
I think it should be watched, right? Because there is a need for these films.
This movie did not need to be over 2 hours long. Like seriously, like I was like, when I looked at the running time, it was still at 45 minutes left, and I was like, what the fuck?
Like sometimes
this movie could now end in 15 minutes from this point where I was at when I checked my watch or whatever.
sometimes you just need fucking, a good 10 to 15 minute fucking Don Johnson, Sonny Crockett, just fucking monologue, just hamming it up. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing fucking wrong with that. And like, this is Aaron Pierre's like breakthrough role.
He did win a Canadian Screen Award for Brother, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
So
played Othello on the fucking Globe stage in London. Like those are some big credentials. But yeah, this is definitely his breakout film as far as like a lead.
yeah, and he held his own with fucking Don Johnson, right? Like, yeah, like at no point did you feel like Johnson was
like upstaging him or anything like that.
Yeah, like he held his fucking own, which is great. Like, and now I know why he's like James Gunn's new Green Lantern.
Oh, is that who he's gonna be?
Yeah, in his TV show.
Nice. Nobody gives a fuck about that.
And this just in, you can go fuck yourself.
For those that don't know who Don Johnson is, because you're not old, he was the OG. He was on the OG Miami Vice back in the 80s. He also was on Nash Bridges. You may have seen him in, again, Django Unchained. He plays Big Daddy. He was also in Knives Out and a film. I realized he was in Tin Cup. And then I thought it was what's his head from Dances with Wolves. When I realized
and then on a sore topic that Chris always has in terms of nepotism, he is fucking Dakota Johnson's father, so that gets him all the fucking roles too. But
yeah, well, too bad he didn't fulfill the role of father. I don't know if they have a good relationship or not.
Like, come on,
the most important role.
Like, it seems like they do. I have no idea.
Anyway, listen, it's a Netflix film. Go watch it on Netflix if you want. One thing I do want to talk, the cinematographer, David Gallego. When I was looking at his catalog, he's done some really interesting stuff, like in Spanish language, Embrace of the Serpent, Birds of Passage, and I Am Not a Witch. I Am Not a Witch is not Spanish language. Very interesting looking films. Definitely, if you're listening to this, you want some more international flavor, check those bad boys out. Do you have anything else you want to say about this film? Like, again, there's not a whole lot to it. It's not a super complex.
No. I don't have anything really on this film, but there is something I do kind of want to talk off topic. Because
is this about your charity? Are you pitching your charity again?
Yeah, it is. Well, because by the time this releases too, like everything would happen. I am super fucking interested in this whole like Hollywood ambassador things, because it's just in my mind.
It's
Stallone, John Voight,
and Rocky, Sylvester Stallone.
But this is
making Hollywood great again.
But this is the thing that's super interesting to me. What fucking power do these people have? Because they're not studio heads.
They have the power of the American fucking presidency, is what they're gonna have.
Yeah, but what I mean is they're the ambassadors.
We can't say the president's name because then we can't fucking monetize anything. Has basically said they're gonna go out into the world like what do they call those people that?
Well, they're ambassadors.
No, the other term I was thinking more JC like
apostles.
Apostles, yeah, like his apostles, and going out and finding the good word and bringing it back and turning it into the gold-plated movies.
But I just want like when I heard all the like the 51st state, I laughed and I'm like, fuck it, whatever. If it happens, it happens. We're gonna get cheap flights to everywhere. But just hearing this, I'm like, I can only imagine fucking Sylvester Stallone like coming back and be like, listen, like Donald, they don't want to make fucking Rambo 8. I don't know why. Like, look at this fucking script. Rambo's taking out drug dealers in a fucking senior home. I'm like, who does not want to see him beat
and then
somebody
Rambo
with a bed
takes on Canada. Take that, Justin Trudeau.
Right? Like it just
next Christmas.
Because I'm like, I don't know what it means, but I am so fucking interested that I want to sit on a couch and just eat popcorn and just be like, John Voight's like, they're making another movie for my daughter. I don't think they should do that. I don't think Angelina Jolie should have another movie. right? And then
They can take our lives, but we'll never take their vaccines.
But I'll end it on this. But if this gives us, because they are remaking fucking Anaconda, if we get another fucking John Voight just staring like creepily at whoever the lead actress of that movie is, like, I'm up for it.
I mean, that sounds very much like the incoming president would do. So you'll probably get your wish. Okay, you might get cheap flights because we become the 51st state, and you might get a creepy old man creeping on a young girl. So everything's coming up, Scott.
And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com.
Look at you getting all into the politics of film.
I just think it's hilarious. But there is two things with this movie that, like, were my two head-scratching moments, right?
Okay,
so
go.
I figure we wait till number one. How much drugs do you have to take to know that you've taken enough drugs not to OD?
A lot, maybe? I don't know. I'm assuming she was a junkie. Like, that's the way they kind of
Right?
played that out. Like, she was a junkie.
Because she was like, oh fuck. She looked at her arm and she's like, shit, they got me fucking high. But she's like, I know I'm not high enough to die.
Yeah. And what was the other
Right?
one?
I was the mole of this whole event, the guy who instigated the whole event.
Oh, yeah. I just realized that as you said that, actually.
The guy who instigated it.
It's
is the
because
guy
they
who's
tried to
against
do the red herring with a different police officer, right?
Right, but you'd figure he wouldn't have fucking ran the guy over if he was against what was going on.
Yeah. Well, and he was also like, he like, not only did he instigate it, he continued down that garden path, right? So,
Yeah.
anyway, listen, if you guys, is Scott right? Is he wrong? Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that. Hey, and by the way, if you got this far in the show, we're still trying to get a Rotten Tomatoes accreditation. So go on Google, give us the 5-star review, give us a comment, tell us how amazing we are, whatever. Say something. Give us your grandma's favorite fucking meatloaf recipe. But we want to keep Rotten Tomatoes. We want to be validated. Help validate us.
Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.